So Sunday,
here we go.
Who wins this game?
I have Tampa Bay 21-17 winning the game. Close game, but they win. And if you're a Cowboys
I want
fan...
to thank you for that. I do.
Do you?
Seriously, I thank you for that. Go ahead.
Okay. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you want the Bucs to win. Hear me out, Skip. Yes, they had the little 5-game win streak. You remember Troy Aikman about 6 weeks ago, said this whole thing's a mess, got to be blown up, the organization's messed up, blah, 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 blah.
Dysfunctional. Yeah.
Dysfunctional. Yeah. They win those 5 games.
And by the way, he was correct about that.
Absolutely. Yes. And this is what I'm saying. This is why, if you're a Cowboys fan, you really don't want them to win this weak NFC East division. You want them to lose the last 2 games, not make the playoffs.
Would be a disaster.
No, but because you're fooling yourself if you think that this is all corrected, because you'll be stuck with Jason Garrett, who you can't get rid of if he wins the division.
Right.
You'll have to sign Dak Prescott to a big contract, which will be a bad contract the minute it's signed, because here's another situation of a guy who's probably the brown-skinned Matt Stafford. You know what I mean? You just won't win. You won't win with him.
Okay.
Not the big game.
And tell Skip that.
And look
Skip
at
invite you over.
Look at they have.
You just got uninvited.
I got uninvited. Yep. I got to find somewhere else to go on Christmas.
You do.
But they scored 3 touchdowns in their last 12 quarters. It's not so. When you look at Dak, I know they've won some games and people felt good, like they turned it around. But I still don't believe in him. And I think if you're a Cowboys fan and you honestly want your team to one day win another championship, I'm just not convinced that guy is the guy.
Well, I differ. I picked the Cowboys to win because they should win. The Bucs are dead last in red zone D. They're 27th in pass D. They're dead last in turnovers, in forcing turnovers. The Cowboys, they're challenge scoring the football. They're the top three in time of possession. So in other words, they possess the ball, but they don't really do anything with it. They don't put the ball into the end zone. And this is what I tried to tell Skip, like with time of possession, no, you want to put the ball in the end zone. It doesn't matter how often or how long you have the ball if you're not putting the ball in the end zone. Look, on paper, the Cowboys should win this game. Like Skip always tells me, you look at player for player, who you taking? But you know the NFL doesn't work like that. You want Jameis or you want Dak?
I don't know. Jameis is playing really.
Do you want Jameis?
I like Jameis when he came out. I endorsed him as the first overall pick. And by the way, he's been playing for his Tampa Bay life for the last 5 weeks, and he's playing at a high level. 5th in the NFL in QBR.
But hold on. But your guy has finished 3rd and 4th in QBR. So by that metric, you'd rather have Dak. Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
Zeke.
I just like him making plays better.
Okay. Yeah. You keep talking about Mike.
Okay, let's go to the receivers. Let's go to Deshaun Jackson.
You want him or Amari Cooper?
Wait, how about Mike Evans? That'd be a wash, so to speak.
Okay.
That'd be, right? That's a 50-50.
Offensive line.
I don't know. Mine's battered. I don't even know if Zach Martin's going to play. I don't know if Xavier's going to play.
Okay, now we're going to go to the other side of the ball because this is where the Cowboys are loaded. Other than Gerald McCoy, I don't know if there's a player on your defense, on Tampa's defense that can start for your defense.
Yeah, and yet my defense has not shown up really for the last 2 games. It didn't show up against Philadelphia. Gave up 17 points at home in the 4th quarter. I do not love that.
Well,
it just flat out no-showed at Indy.
Well,
no-showed. 178 yards rushing by the Colts?
Well, that's a no-show.
Well, what happened is that your offense put your defense on a short field. We ain't gonna mention. So, are we gonna talk about those turnovers that Dak had that put their defense back on the field?
In Philly, you mean?
No, at home
against Philly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I got you.
Okay.
He didn't really turn the ball over. You threw one off Blake Jarwin's hands when the game was out of hand.
Oh yeah, you were talking about Indy. No, we're not talking about that. But Skip, think about it. Now they only gave up 13 points. They gave up 10 points to the Saints. This is a very good defense.
It can be.
But Tampa is outgunned, and the Cowboys should win this game. And I think I had to score 24-14. So
no, you said 10, 24-10. You added a 14 point.
Yeah, I meant the 14 points.
Okay.
They should win the game by 14.
24-10.
Yeah.
Okay, we got you marked down.
So, earlier in the show, I told Mr. Sharpe sitting across from me that I do not love my team's chances in this game. But my scenario is very different than yours because I love my quarterback and I love my running back and I love my new receiver.
Your coach too?
And I do not love my coach.
Okay, I'm just asking.
And why my running back was in the football game at Indy with 4 minutes left, down 23-0, carrying the football, to going nowhere fast. Why are you doing that? Why are you using him up? He should have been fired on the spot, and then maybe heavens would have opened and be a new day.
Well, what he was trying
Let
to do.
Chris Richard take over.
How about this, Skip? He wanted to get Zeke some extra carries, so therefore if they win next week, he could rest and Zeke win the rushing title.
But you also a chance that he could get hurt out there.
Yeah,
in a
I don't
game.
love the risk reward.
Oh, I totally
Yeah,
agree.
Okay, so I cannot defend 23-0 because it's a bad sign this late in the year. I know why it happened because they went up there thinking, we got a 2-game lead. We got Philly having to go play the Rams. That's going to be a wipeout. We got Josh Johnson, quarterback in the Redskins, going to Jacksonville. It's going to be a wipeout. And you know what happened? The wipeout really occurred up in Indy. And I just don't love them trying to get their momentum back against a Jameis and company that have competed at a high level for 4 straight games. They have been in every game. They had New Orleans down 14-11 going to the fourth quarter. They have not given up. They just keep battling. And again, I don't love their coach. I don't love their GM. I don't love where they're heading. But they have an opportunity late in the year to go do something that will matter. And I do think Jameis, he's not only playing for his Tampa life, he's playing for his NFL life right now. Because if they dump him, is he going to be anything more than a backup somewhere else? I'm not sure he's going to get a shot if they cut him.
I know he ain't getting $21 million.
Well, because
that's what his option is if they pick it up and he comes back next year.
I've had this queasy feeling all week long, just that I had a good feeling going into New Orleans game, that they're going to blow this game because they've lost momentum. They've lost their way a little bit where you can't quite get it back against a team that is game. And again, Deshaun Jackson leads the NFL in yards per catch, and Mike Evans is now second in the NFL in yards per catch. You want to talk about dangerous? They can put up points. I think a little, maybe more points than you're talking about in your score.
Okay.
But my storybook scenario is you blow this game, and all of a sudden you still have one last shot at the Giants. Division rivalry, and the Giants would love this opportunity to salvage their season with one big upset, spoiler alert, here we come game, with Odell finally playing a game. I don't even know if he's going to play this week or not, but he'd play that game. And maybe Eli would think I can be fourth quarter Eli, I can be playoff Eli, and I would love my quarterback in this game at the Giants. And I would love if just when everybody thought that they had fallen completely on their faces, as they have been wont to do in their history, for them to bounce back and have a convincing win at the Giants to win the division would be perfect. And it would springboard them right into a home playoff game the next week, which would springboard them into an away game that would be very dangerous for the home team.
No.
Yep,
stop,
I would love my
springboard them into a loss. They're losing.
If they lose to Tampa, I think they would lose to the Giants.
No, I do not. I would love it. I would love it.
I think they would
lose. I would win more dinners from you because you're about to be down 2. Because you got the Patriots missing the playoffs. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. But
so I got one dinner down, right?
You're about to be 2 down, yep. So here's the point. There was one aberration game, one bizarre blowout featuring my Dallas Cowboys this year, and I can't explain it except with one stat, and it was 40-7 over Jacksonville at home in Week 6. How can you explain that, Rob? Guess what my quarterback, who you say can't play, what did he do in that game? He had a career-high 11 rushes for a career-high 82 yards. In the beginning of the game, is actually the second big drive of the game, they drove the ball all day long on a Jacksonville defense that came in number 1 in yards allowed in the NFL through the first 5 weeks of the season. Dak Prescott scored the first touchdown of the game with his legs from 17 yards out, and then he ran them off the field. Guess what he did at Indy? He had 0 carries for 0 yards. What are you doing, Scott Linehan? The secret to the Dak attack is you have to feature him occasionally. Zone read, quarterback draw, roll out with run-pass option. Let him run because he can run. He can take the pounding. He's 6'2", I think he's 250. You think he's 235. I think he's, well, I'm going to give him 240, okay?
How about this, Skip?
He can really drive the ball, as in drive it down your throats with his legs.
You didn't mention anything about Scott Linehan and his play calling in the fourth quarter and in overtime against Philly, and Dak Prescott didn't run. You didn't mention anything about Scott Linehan play calling, and Dak Prescott didn't run when they beat New Orleans. It's only if they lose and Dak lays an egg, you got to run more.
What was Philly's problem coming into the Dallas game? They were down to a third stringer at almost at 3 of the 4 positions in the defensive backfield.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
Except for the safety. And other than that, he threw a big home party. He went 17 of 20 for 243 and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and overtime, which proved once again he can throw. And if you say he always comes up small, he has played in 1 playoff game his rookie year, and he threw for 300 yards against Aaron Rodgers.
They won that game?
3 touchdowns in that game, and brought them all the way from 21-3 down, all the way to 31 all.
How'd you get down?
How'd you get down?
Yeah.
My defense didn't show up.
Oh, whoa.
Well, obviously my defense was playing the greatest thrower of the football ever.
Rob, you've been covering football a long time.
I frustrated both of you.
Since 1987.
Since 1987, do teams put their defense on the field to score points, or is that the reason they put their offense out there?
Offense is supposed to
So
score
I'm trying to
points.
figure out, if you got the ball, why were you down 21-3? Did Dak not touch the football?
He threw for 300 yards. I don't know how you do that if you don't move.
Well, you know what happens is when you get a big score, your defense, what does it do, Shannon? It backs off a little bit, right? I'll let you
Exactly.
throw the ball
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
I just don't want you to throw it over the top, over my head, but I'll let you throw it in front of me all day.
Okay,
We got to kill clock.
You know what, Skip? You lost that playoff game, and I understand that it's only one loss. What about last week? What did he do last week?
I already told you what they did. They did not.
No, ain't no they. I ain't say they.
Dak.
I said he.
Oh.
Him.
He drove it 10 plays, 14 plays, and 15 plays in the first half.
Okay, let me ask
And
you.
then, wait a second. He got a field goal block that he didn't actually hold for. If he was Romo holding, it was his fault. I'd give you that. But he didn't hold for that. It was just blocked. And then he threw a touchdown pass to somebody named Olawale, and it was dropped at the goal line. Am I right about that?
It was dropped.
Short on it.
And then he threw a pass up the boundary to Noah Brown, and it was right on target, and he got fouled 5 times up the boundary, and they didn't throw a flag.
So you're
And it would have been
convinced
first and goal at the 5. They should have had 17 in the first half.
that when they sign him to this big contract, you're good that Dak Prescott one day will hold that Lombardi trophy over his head
Yep,
and
I
win
am.
a Super Bowl for
Yep.
the Cowboys.
He's held plenty of them. They got 5 of them in Frisco right now.
Yep.
I'm sure he's held those.
Well, it's good the Cowboys are
That's
back
it.
home. They're 6-1 at home. The Bucs just 1-6 on the road.
This is going to be sweet when they lose the last 2 games.
Woo! Don't do that.
Would you
We'll
like to
see
bet
about that.
2 dinners on that right now?
Let's go.
Seriously?
Yep.
You just
Making it
want to
easy.
feed me.
I don't.
Okay.
I
All
think
right,
they're
I
going
got
to lose
you.
to
I got
Tampa
you.
Bay and
All
then the
right,
Giants.
okay, I got it. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Well,
Thank you.
We'll see.
Thank
Lose
you.
to Tampa
Merry
Bay.
How this
Christmas
one
to you
ends.
too.
Merry Christmas.
Rob, thank
Am I
you.
still
Take
invited
care.
or not?
I'll decide.
Oh,
Based on Sunday's performance, we'll see.
Monday.
We'll see.